Exhale, British Columbia. It's a wonderful day for an exorcism. And I know that's not the right time to say that, but the Vancouver Canucks heading into today's contest against the Edmonton Oilers had themselves an opportunity, a chance to secure themselves, or not even really secure, but give themselves a much higher odds at getting the first overall spot in the Pacific Division. They needed a regulation win, and that is exactly what they got. Let's go! The Vancouver Canucks have defeated the Edmonton Oilers 3-1, and the Oilers, as a result of this game, remain at 102 points. Vancouver now has a 5-point lead on the Oilers, although the Oilers have one game in hand. The Canucks have 2 games to play, and the Oilers have 3, but of course, if Vancouver even gets themselves one more win in their final 2 games, either against the Calgary Flames or against the Winnipeg Jets, then boom shakalaka, that's all she wrote. Vancouver will clinch first in the Pacific. This game, though, against Edmonton was a total deal breaker. Had the Oilers ended up winning this game in regulation, let's say the Canucks stay at 105 points, and the Oilers themselves, they would have gotten up to 104 points with a game in hand, that would have made things very, very close in the Pacific race. Now, heading into this game, I actually saw some pretty interesting commentary by a lot of Oilers fans. You see, Canucks fans here on the BC West Coast, we're all kind of saying similar things. I've had conversations about this with my friends in real life, and I've seen what y'all are saying in the comments section, and everybody talks about this on Twitter, but it was a really big deal for Canucks fans to hold on to that first spot in the Pacific, because assuming the Dallas Stars hold on to first place in the West, Vancouver would automatically play the first wild card, and right now that first wild card belongs to the Nashville Predators. Canucks fans seem to be wanting to play the Predators a lot more than the potential opponent they would have if they dropped down to second in the Pacific, which would be LA. At this moment, it's LA. They've got one more point than the Vegas Golden Knights, but still, the odds-on favorite first-round matchup for the Vancouver Canucks amongst the fan base seems to be the Predators, and a lot of Canucks fans are saying, yeah, we don't want to play LA, they smoke us every time, they play boring hockey, the Canucks just can't compete with this Kings team. It sucks. But the funny part is, the Oilers fans that I've been seeing, they're saying the entire opposite. It's very weird, because a lot of Oilers fans I've been coming across on different parts of the interwebs are like, yeah, we don't want to play Nashville. We want to play LA. We match against LA a lot better. We've had that history going up against the Oilers. We've beaten them in the past. They want to do it again, which is like, okay, if you want to play LA and the Canucks want to play Nashville, then let's just give Vancouver the regulation win, and that's exactly what happened. No Connor McDavid in today's game. No Thatcher Demko. It was Casey DeSmith against Stuart Skinner, and Vancouver ends up winning 3-1. So from a standings perspective, I think a lot of Canucks fans are really happy with this, and based off of what I'm seeing out of Oilers fans, sure, you don't want to see your team lose games this late into the year, but hey, you don't have Connor McDavid. You guys aren't really even wanting to play Nashville in the first place. You guys seem to be very comfortable with the idea of playing the Kings. What you gotta look out for, though, is the Vegas Golden Knights, because they are 1 point back of LA, and if the Golden Knights play Edmonton in the first round instead, then we all know what happens when McDavid and Eichel meet in the playoffs, right? Either way, going over to this Vancouver and Edmonton game, we didn't really see too many goals. We didn't really see too much high-flying action. This certainly wasn't the same 8-goal game we had seen out of Vancouver to open up the season against Edmonton. But just like those earlier games, Vancouver takes the win, and they do so in a fairly convincing fashion. I'm not going to say like it was really convincing, but fairly convincing. The Oilers actually outchanced the Canucks by a pretty significant margin in this game, especially in the opening minutes of the first period. That is just when Casey DeSmith earned his payday based off of the first 5 or 6 minutes in this hockey game. But the Vancouver Canucks, they weathered the storm, they kept things equal, 0-0 in the first period, despite the fact that Edmonton was getting all this offense accomplished without Connor McDavid. And at the end of the first period, it is none other than Sam Lafferty who opens the scoring and makes it 1-0. He comes down the right wing and just snipes it far side. That's it. No biggie. No tough, complicated, extremely difficult play. No, he just walks right in and snipes it. There were a few guys in front, a few players that he could have referred to pass to, and a few Oilers defensemen that were also skating backwards, but all in all, Lafferty just does the work himself. Walks right in and snipes it. Really nice. In the second period, this is where things started to look really good for Vancouver. And I'm not necessarily talking about chances, but in terms of gameplay. Now, the Canucks did get themselves the first goal of the second period. It was a beautiful play. My goodness, Tyler Myers, of all people, is the guy who comes right down. He's coming on the right wing, and he centers a beautiful feed in front for Pius Suter, who takes that floater and deflects it on net to beat Stuart Skinner again far side. A totally calculated play, a beautiful read by Myers, even better puck pickup by Pius Suter to one-time deflect that on goal and give the Vancouver Canucks the 2-0 lead. In this second period, I started to notice a lot more of the Vancouver defense really stepping up and making fantastic plays. And I say defense, I'm not just talking about the defenders, I'm talking about the forwards playing defense. Because the Oilers in the offensive zone in that second period, they tried to get a lot of cross creases, they tried to throw the puck on goal and get a lot of those rebound opportunities. We've seen the Zach Hymans and the Evander Kanes and the Corey Perrys of the world go out there and get these rebound, loose in front, tap in, dirty kind of goals, right? We've seen that out of this Oilers team. They can do it. But in this second period, for the most part, the Canucks were clogging up the middle, making a lot of interceptions, and they killed off a penalty too, which was a really good one to see. Big standout to me in my mind, Elias Lindholm. I noticed him almost every shift. There were a few shifts where he was going out there and checking against Leon Draisaitl, and he gave Draisaitl a really difficult time. He stole the puck from Draisaitl a few times. He was getting in the guy's way, not allowing him to make the passes that he wanted to make. Leon Draisaitl had a really difficult time creating the offense that he wanted because of Elias Lindholm. And that second period was filled with a lot of those shifts, Lindholm back-checking, stealing the puck, and a lot of the other forwards just clogging up the middle, stealing those passes, and quickly coming back the other way. Great shutdown second period for the Vancouver Canucks. Now, with that being said, the Oilers did score themselves a goal here in the second. It was a long shot from the point by Darnell Nurse, and it's tipped in front by Evander Kane. This one is a play by Filip Hronek, who ends up losing the board battle really aggressively with Evander Kane. And because Hronek loses the battle, it allows Kane to walk right in front, and he gets the stick on it. It's a little bit high, but they didn't review it. It was just a good goal. Call on the ice stands. It is a 2-1 game. And in the third, you saw the Oilers try to get a little bit more offense in there. They had a few chances. The Canucks also, they had themselves a power play, the Canucks did, and it looked so good. When the Evander Kane tripping penalty was called against Sam Lafferty and the Canucks first unit went out, my gosh, they went to town. They just could not bury it. Lots of good movement, lots of good opportunities, lots of good looks. But Pettersson, Miller, Hughes, Garland, and Besser could not get that one to go. Eventually, the empty net comes out, and it's Dakota Joshua who seals the deal, assisted out there by Elias Lindholm and Connor Garland. So Joshua gets the empty netter, Vancouver wins 3-1. Lindholm gets awarded for his stellar play in this game. Tyler Myers with probably the most beautiful assist of the night, and on the Sam Lafferty goal that was kicking everything off to make it 1-0, JT Miller got an assist. So he's up to 66 assists on the year. Another point for JT. No points for Pettersson, Besser, or Hughes in this one, but that's okay because the Canucks were still able to find a way to keep things locked at bay. And a lot of that had to do with Casey DeSmith, who made 32 saves on 33 shots against in this one. Stuart Skinner, I also felt was pretty alright. The goals that went by him, not really the best. I mean, the Sam Lafferty shot on the rush isn't ideal for a goaltender to give up, but at the same time, I mean, both goalies had to make some pretty stellar saves. At the end of the day, though, this is a pretty nothing game for the Edmonton Oilers, I feel. They kind of didn't really want to take over Vancouver if it meant they'd play the Predators, at least according to what I'm seeing. And the Canucks fans here, they can breathe a sigh of relief because this win against Edmonton makes their chances of playing off against the Kings in the first round that much less likely. Now, of course, there are 5 games remaining shared between the Canucks and the Oilers, so we'll see if the Canucks can hold on to this lead. But for now, a 3-1 victory over Edmonton in Edmonton to sweep the season series and take the dub 3-1. That's good enough for many Vancouver Canucks fans. So, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below about the Canucks defeating the Edmonton Oilers 3-1 in regulation, so a big 2 points and a big 0 for the Edmonton Oilers. I hope you enjoyed this video. and bye.